And people, welcome to Perfect Plex Talk Radio, live on multiple streaming devices, broadcasting live right now on YouTube, broadcasting live right now on BDSIR Radio Networks. I am your host, Mike Knoxxx, and indeed, I spelled my name with 3 X's because we're trying something different today. Although we are live on Blog Talk Radio, we are talking to you through the Google Hangout. Congratulations, it's my 1-week anniversary to my Philadelphia Eagles, and I am absolutely ecstatic about everything that's going on with them today. Now, on the wrestling slate, on the wrestling card, the weekend wrestling is before us. We're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore of rivalries. I mean, we have started this Mount Rushmore going, on and on and on, that everybody in a mama's podcast and their father's podcast and a auntie's uncle's podcast in a mama's basement with only 12 episodes to their credit is trying to be like us. Yes, we may be new to the YouTube audience, but we have well over close to 2,000 episodes, and now we're going to start them here on YouTube with you as well. Around the blocks of Mike, not sure already aware of, but you heard enough about me. Let me introduce to you my crew. Coming in hailing with a chiseled 265 pounds from Miami, he is We Are City. We Are City. He's the soccer one himself. Hugo! What's going on, Hugo?
What's going on, Mike? Man, just here ready to talk some wrestling, man. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, so I'm excited. Let's get to it. There's a lot of things going on the road to WrestleMania, brother.
A lot of things going on. Also coming in at a chiseled, I said it once for Hugo, I'm going to say it again for Micah, a chiseled 305, a.k.a. beat maker extraordinaire, a.k.a. you better watch out your grill because I'm going to come in here and cook on it. What's going on, Micah? Better known as Amy Richard on the Twitter.
305.
Yeah.
305. Man, you got to be a turkey full of job. But it's still me. It's still the guy that you know as Emmy. And yes, I got the hats because, well, that's where it's at. So let's go, brother. We got a lot of things to talk about. And no, not our mothers.
You know what? I see you over there with no facial hair over there looking like Jerome off of Martin. Come in the door. You know, black men don't look right without facial hair. You better have him grow that back, brother.
Yeah, I look beautiful. What you talking about?
That is true. Black is beautiful. God made Booby. Booby is beautiful. Shout out to my Friday Night Lights fans. Listen, the link has been put up on the YouTube. Make sure you go ahead and share with all your wrestling friends across the UK, across the world. We are live right here on Blog Talk Radio and live right now on my YouTube channel. Please check us out. But let's talk about it, guys. The week in wrestling, we are live right now. And coming off a, I want to say a successful, well, it was a very successful, in my opinion, it was a very successful Royal Rumble. It really was. My L button's not working. Look, I dropped a whole entire pizza, no lie, on my keyboard. It just smashed my keyboard. And my goddamn L button ain't working. Come on, are you really?
Good job.
How can I spell We Are Live if I can't even put the L? Look, I'm smashing the L button.
Every capital I. It's capital I, lowercase I.
That's why you don't eat over your laptop, Mike.
I can't even look. Every button around it is working but the L. Like, seriously? But the pizza didn't even hit the L. The pizza hit the return button. Who's that coming in? Who's that?
What's going on?
Jesus Christ.
Hey, what's up?
Okay. Can you hear us, Vaughn?
Sorry, I muted him.
Okay. I'm like, man.
I muted the background noise.
Wow. This hyper over contract me right there. I'm a little mad right now, guys. I really cannot push the live button. I'm gonna put on now. Like,
okay.
You're not stupid.
We're on.
The on button's not working. Give me a break, Geraldo. The on button is not. The O button is not working. So I gotta use 0. I gotta use 0. You know what? I'm gonna use 1. We are 1 IVE. Right? That's close enough.
I guess.
Do it. Right? That's close enough. Right? That's close enough.
That's how you gotta do it, buddy.
Look, I can't even hit return. Like, I hit return. You know, like normally you hit return, that means that ends the post. It's like moving it down. So moving on, guys. So the weekend wrestling, we're going to talk about that right now. Like I said, coming off, in my opinion, a successful Royal Rumble. Not the greatest Monday Night Raw without Ronda Rousey. Was not a fan of that. But with that also being said, I didn't think Raw was bad. I thought Raw, you know, the triple threat match, WWE stands for We Walk with Elias. You guys have been here with us on Perfect Plex Talk Radio. I've said from the beginning how much I've been an Elias fan from day one, from NXT on. So I loved the triple threat match. No, we don't think he's going to win the triple threat, you know, the Elimination Chamber match. But I love the fact that he got a big win. That was probably the biggest win of Elias's career, beating John Cena and Braun Strowman. I thought that was good. I loved Alexa Bliss' interaction with Kurt Angle. I love how that whole thing is being set up, and the fact that she has not defended her title and the X amount of times that they said since October. I didn't even realize that until they said it. I was on the phone, on the Xbox, that is, with Dice Man, who's not here right now. He's at work. And he was like, wow, he wanted to check that out. And I checked it out. She has not defended her title since October. Just, you know, what happened with the bar and what's going on with Jason Jordan. He's had successful neck surgery. So that's kind of part to me that's scary. I said this off air. I'm going to say it now live on air. I actually hope they keep him around while he's hurt. You know, remember how when Randy Orton had the Randy Orton news update? I hope they do something like that with Jason Jordan. Maybe that can help him get over. I also heard, as that was one of my thoughts, I also heard from Busted Open Radio, Dave LaGreca and them. Oh, no, sorry, not Busted Open Radio. I was listening to Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg. He still doesn't have more wrestling t-shirts than me. He knows that. We've gone back and forth on Snapchat and Twitter about that. But he mentioned, you know, put the neck brace on him and have him go like a year with the neck brace on if he's out a year. And that way he can build up even more annoying heel heat, you know, no pun intended, towards his character. So when he can actually get physical, that can actually happen. I actually thought Raw was pretty decent. Not great, you know, not great for us to be on the road to WrestleMania. But then going into SmackDown, I thought SmackDown was pretty good. I'm getting a little bit tired of the Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens situation there, but it was a good match. We know now it's going to be a triple threat match as opposed to the 2-on-1 handicap match we got last month. I'm just not ready for those two to start fighting yet. I think you should hold it off to maybe next year's WrestleMania, not this year's WrestleMania, but we all know that with injuries, things tend to jump the ship, if you will, so to speak. But to me, the biggest news to come out of wrestling this week in the week in wrestling is the fact that we're going to get in New Orleans, where myself and Hugo's going to be, Ring of Honor's pay-per-view, going to have the main event. Cody Rhodes takes on Kenny Omega. Can this be the talk of WrestleMania weekend? I don't really think so with Nakamura and AJ and whatever else WWE has planned. I don't think that no one coming out of Monday night is going to be saying, oh, did you see that match over the possibility of what WrestleMania can do? But for right now, I think they're the biggest story of the week. I'm going to go with you next, Hugo, on that. Your week in wrestling.
Yeah, I thought the week of wrestling was pretty good.
Whoa.
I thought the week of wrestling was pretty good. I actually thoroughly enjoyed Monday Night Raw. I mean, obviously coming off of out of post Royal Rumble with Ronda Rousey and all that, it wasn't as hot as the weeks before. But as you know, leading up to the Elimination Chamber and stuff like that, you know, the weeks to come, you know, they'll definitely once again pick up. Excuse me. What I've enjoyed a lot right now, Mike, is obviously the Finn Balor, you know, with the Balor Club and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. However, like I was talking to my buddy Gerald over the phone while this phone was actually going on, man. How great did Finn Balor and Carl Anderson both look as a tag team as opposed to Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows? I thought they were fantastic against the Revival. I thought they were absolutely fantastic because they're both just you know, Carl Anderson, to me, you know, he's one of my favorite superstars, Mike. You know, I mean, you saw me. I was standing up on top of my chair last year at WrestleMania. You know, I'm a huge Carl Anderson fan, and I'm always going to be a Carl Anderson fan. But I think with Finn Balor, they have something as a tag team. Granted, we know Finn Balor is the leader, quote unquote, of the Balor Club. I just really enjoyed seeing both of them and definitely have a natural chemistry, both of them teaming up. On top of that, also talking about, the whole with Kurt Angle, accusing Kurt Angle of sexism. Obviously, the WWE, man. One thing I thought that was kind of stupid, to be honest with you. Accusing him of sexism.
I loved it.
Yeah, but now he's calling him a sexist. Come on, Mike. I mean,
it's kind of going overboard.
Well,
it is going overboard.
I don't think that's necessarily going overboard in the sense of, like, why is it considered going overboard, right? She's a female, right, who she's trying to get out of something. It's storyline.
No. I just don't like that. I just don't like the words.
What else would a female say? That's the same thing as me. It's the same thing as pulling the black card, right? That's the same thing. She pulled the female card. I thought it was, what else can she do? Pull the I'm the champion card's not working. So she pulled the, you know what, this is sexist. You're going against me this way. I like it.
The reason, I guess I see where you're coming from, because obviously, as we know, the WWE is pushing very hard this quote-unquote women's revolution. We've already had the first Royal Rumble, the first women's Money in the Bank, and now we're gonna have the first ever Elimination Chamber, for the women a couple of weeks' time. So I understand where you're coming from, with the sexist, but it's just that it kind of double standards the fact that they're not sexist at all. The WWE is not sexist at all. But I understand where you're coming from in terms of, Alexa Bliss, playing the heel card, being wrestling storyline. I understand. However, I thoroughly enjoyed the segment. I honestly do believe that Nia Jax somehow gets into this match, and I think it's going to be via Alexa Bliss, perhaps.
You know what? Let me get a blind tag right there, because that was a part that I put in my notes there, Huggo. And I want to touch on that because it's not far out of the spectrum to think we're going to get this triple threat match at Mania. But I do think now that all the other news is being broke about what we're going to get with Ronda Rousey and this whole Stephanie McMahon thing, where, if we want to talk about it, talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. But all signs points to Asuka's going against one of these two titles, right?
Right.
So for my money, give me Asuka versus Charlotte, right?
I agree.
Give me Nia Jax versus
Alexa
Bliss.
Yes.
That's the money knocks. Here's the problem, though. Will the WWE, right? Because when I think about the weekend wrestling and how hot the female division is, the women's division is, they're getting one segment a night, 2 segments tops when they're kind of intertwining with each other isn't enough. They have a 3-hour program. Women need more time. And so the question that makes me think, are you going to get 3 different matches for the women at WrestleMania? Because I don't think if you give me with 2 matches we just said, and then whatever with Ronda Rousey and Stephanie, whatever the heck that may go, I'm not sure if they're going to, I guess they have to do that, right? Because they're both the top. But what happened with the other ladies? Are they going to be in a pre-show battle royal? Is there a female?
Which I'm sure.
Like, what are you doing to other women?
I mean, you could obviously, they could do anything. They could do a Raw versus SmackDown, whoever women were not in particular match. But we've already seen that. We've already said, right. So here is the way that I would fix the women's division. I'm glad that you opened up this can of worms. And I know it was not in our. No,
I actually had it penciled down because I want to. They need more. Not that they need more development.
So
they're a bigger story than some of the guys.
As we know, there's a cruiserweight division, right? It's on Monday Night Raw. Okay,
right.
They don't intervene into SmackDown. They're strictly with Monday Night Raw, and they have 205 Live. What the WWE needs to do, they need to go ahead and send all the women to just one show and create a full-on women's division where you can have your world champion, you can have your intercontinental champion, and you can definitely have your tag team champions. Why? Because they have now enough women, especially also after this Mae Young Classic, for them to be able to create their own separate brand as women. So, for example, you could keep the cruiserweights on Raw or on SmackDown. I personally will put the women on Raw and put the cruiserweights on SmackDown because I think the women actually draw more than the actual cruiserweights themselves. That's what I would do if I was the booker of the WWE. But now you're going to have all these women, like you're saying, Mike, since they're all separate in different brands, and what is it that they're going to be having within themselves at WrestleMania? A big battle royal, like you said, we've already seen that. You know what I mean? We've already seen also Raw versus SmackDown at the Survivor Series. These women need something to do. They need to create their own unified division in one of the brands and go ahead and kick it off with the whole women's division on that, Mike. I don't know if the guys want. to try.
I definitely agree on that. Go ahead and jump in there for a second, Micah. and your take. First of all, give me your weekend wrestling before we went off tilter, but that's what we do in the bar.
Yeah, and by the way, and SmackDown was great. Really quick, SmackDown was great. I know with the whole Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn thing, I don't know if you're thinking that they're pushing it too hard, but remember now Baron Corbin, the winner of Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler, it will be now a fatal four-way match. So.
Yeah, so well done, fellas. That was a fantastic conversation. Look, my week in wrestling, I thought Raw was okay. Raw was decent. I thoroughly enjoyed, you know how I am about one John Horatio Rodriguez, Anthony Felix Cena. You already know how I am about him. And, he, as a character, as a being of who he is and his namesake, I think he needs to be taking a lot more pins to put over the talent that needs to get put over. Because Elias, as annoying as his character is, has been getting over the crowd because obviously the crowd knows what WWE was trying to do with him. It's like, oh well, you know what, we're gonna like him regardless of whatever you're trying to do with him. And every time he fought John Cena, they cheer for him, they boo Cena. Perfect way to get him over. He pinned Cena, fantastic, good way to get him over. So I thought that was a really good end tonight. Braun looks as good as he does. I would like to see Braun with one more alternative finishing move, just so because sometimes the power slams look, I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't look monstrous for a guy his size.
Right.
So I think the running power slam, just like AJ Styles has a phenomenal form as the real finisher, where he can finish people off with the Styles Clash. I think the running power slam is something that he can use, and then he develops a new one specifically because of the strength of a guy like Brock Lesnar. So hopefully he'll do that along the way, and that's something I look forward to. I didn't like the fact that Roman Reigns was paired with Bray Wyatt. We had an opportunity to maybe see Bray Wyatt get a win on Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns didn't necessarily need to win right then. He could have did the second chance match that the other guys are going to get, which Finn Balor most likely was going to win that one.
Agreed.
But he could have got the second chance match, and at least Bray Wyatt would have been in there to kind of give Bray Wyatt some credibility and legitimacy. I know he's getting set up with Matt Hardy and stuff, but that would have been another great moment in the Elimination Chamber where Matt Hardy could have did a distraction, which cost him a chance in the WWE Universal Championship.
No, I'm not. Why even put them in a match?
I know,
right?
I know, but I'm just saying.
You went to fantasy booking to wake your ass up because you dreaming booking. Like
you just said,
we're gonna put them in. They're gonna put them in a chamber match. What is that even? Come on,
right.
Stop.
It is what it is.
What they even do to warrant that?
WWE has done weirder things. You know that. So
but doing weirder things when it's this close to the road to wrestling, when we're on the road to wrestling. No, I haven't seen nothing that weird on the road to wrestling.
No, I haven't.
Okay, I've seen plenty.
But my weekend wrestling.
But when I saw Roman Reigns in that match and I saw Miz in that match, I knew they were going to be in it. I knew they were going to be in it.
You had Apollo too.
Yeah.
You knew this was winning.
As soon as that guy was like, hold on, he's a black guy, doesn't mean anything. Yeah, he's not winning. If it was like Big E, he
don't tell my kids that. Don't tell my kids that.
Well, yeah, of course.
My kids love Apollo too.
But SmackDown, right? A lot of people, I can understand your frustration with the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens thing, but Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is not about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're the accessories and the pawns, and paying attention to the opening promo between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. They're the accessories and pawns in the promo between them two, which may lead to that culmination, that WrestleMania match that you predicted already. You called it your shot, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, which I don't know. You said that I don't know why they'll do that, or Shane McMahon could kill the guy, but because he's not necessarily the cleanest guy to work with in the ring. But Shane's good at. But as I always say, Shane is always good looking at almost dying. So he's always good looking, almost dying in his matches. So I'm sure if it is Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan will put him in some kind of horrible, torturous looking submission hold that will make Shane McMahon look like he's about to go ahead and collapse on himself. So, but weekend wrestling, fantastic. It was very good. NXT. Always good. I enjoyed it. So very good weekend wrestling for me. I have to give you your credit when your credit is due. That match with Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega, that should be a very, very good match. I sincerely doubt it's going to take away anybody from WrestleMania, but it should be enough to kind of at least give some competition for NXT. But it ain't taking nobody from WrestleMania. We already know.
You know what?
I got to put my.
Before Vaughn getting there real fast, and I apologize, Vaughn, I know you've been waiting 18 paces. We haven't had her. This is the first time I actually got Vaughn on the show, as just not tweeting again. So I'm definitely gonna give him his time. But just to go back, if we can, the Usos dropped the best promo that wrestling has seen since Roman Reigns came out after WrestleMania. Didn't say anything. right? I mean, can we even consider that a promo? So if we don't consider that a promo at all, right? If we don't consider that a promo at all, the Usos have dropped the best promo in wrestling since the pipe bomb by CM Punk, and I will stand by that. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry that promo with the I'm sorry. We went from face paint to snapbacks.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
real.
if we were live on air right now, right, when I had the studio available, rather, I would play that promo again. It was the dopest promo that SmackDown, the Usos. I'm sorry, we went from face paint to snapbacks. Like, I'm sorry, like the Usos are 100% over, and if they do not make the main event card at WrestleMania, that means being on the main card at WrestleMania and not a pre-show, I won't walk out because I'm gonna spend a bunch of money. I'm gonna be very damn angry. Go ahead, King Vaughn Jr. 720 on Twitter.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, everybody? My week in wrestling, I would say that as far as the women's division, I do believe that they need to get more shine, more exposure, more so because at this point the cruiserweight division is just there just to be there because it's dying right now. You know, after the things that happened with Enzo and all that stuff like that, so it's kind of lost its marquee value at this point. So as far as that's concerned, yeah, most certainly. Now when it comes to, especially when it comes to the women's title, I would have to put something with like a Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. We could throw that in there because eventually at some point Alexa Bliss has got to drop the title. Now as far as like Roman and Miz, I could see something, I could really see them doing much more with that in that aspect, and so it's now as far as like the Braun Strowman thing, I definitely see the point where you're coming from, where Braun could turn that into like a signature move instead of a finishing move, and so that'd be like the trademark as a setup, so to speak, for something even better. Now, as far as on the SmackDown side, I kind of think that the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn storyline is definitely kind of running its course, but it's certainly going to set up for for something even bigger, dealing with Shane and Daniel Bryan. And so as far as the women's division the women's division on the SmackDown side, they could definitely have much more shine, just equally just equally compared, equally with Raw as well. So like when I look at the women's division, there's so many different pieces to move around, so many different opportunities that they could have. Like I said, when it comes to something with with Charlotte and as far as like Charlotte with her title,
and we all keep forgetting about people like Naomi. And Sasha Banks and Bayley, those are still important females.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that are not slated for anything.
And the thing is, like Sasha and Asuka had an excellent match on just recently. Excellent, fantastic match on Raw. So I would and that's definitely gonna go down as a Raw classic. As time goes on. So that was phenomenal. I mean, if they could do that for Raw, just imagine what they could do for WrestleMania. And as far as the Usos, not to jump back and forth with Raw and SmackDown, but as far as the Usos, they definitely made a turnaround from being Samoan SWAT Team 2.0 to actually being taken seriously. So as far as them wearing the all black and everything like that, that was definitely a major improvement for them as characters. And so I really appreciate the way that the Usos have been making their turnaround and letting their voices be heard. And so with the Naomi thing, as far as her being on that top 10, there was no way I could imagine WWE themselves like making that vote. I don't know who.
Well, I mean, if you're looking, and I'm glad you brought that up, right? Let's go real fast if we can, right? To the list. Now, this is allegedly, right? That's all we can go off on storyline wise.
Yeah,
a list that was voted on by the wrestlers on SmackDown, not every roster, the SmackDown roster. So let's look at it. Number 10 makes sense, although I don't agree. It makes sense because the perfect 10, right? So they put them there because you got to think that these wrestlers look at this list probably as a joke the same way the NBA does when they're picking all-star games, right? How many all-star, you know what I mean? Look where LeBron finished amongst the peers vote, right? So you got Ty Dillinger number 10. They vote Randy Orton. I'm glad Randy Orton wasn't higher on the list. I believe he should have been here, right? So you go Becky Lynch. They probably had some like, okay, you got to put females on the list, right?
Yeah.
So they go Becky Lynch. Then they go Usos, right? They're the tag team champions. You go to New Day because they're still the New Day. They're not the champions, but are they more over than the Usos? Maybe not to us, but maybe
they still move merch.
And maybe exactly.
They move it merch. They even move it. They about to move pancakes. These dudes about to move freaking pancakes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so they definitely draw.
Then you got the glorious one, Bobby Roode, right? Then Naomi, Shinsuke, Charlotte, and AJ. I don't think the list is bad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't put it that way. But if this is a list that's made up of the SmackDown roster, I don't really see we can have a much faltering this, except for tell me this is the list. This list is supposed to tell you where they go next. So does this mean Randy Orton and Ty Dillinger are they going to wrestle each other next week on SmackDown? And then what does that put them in the U.S. title picture? Right? Like, explain to me how this top 10 list is going to work, and then I can say it is or it isn't a bad list. As of right now, I don't think it's a bad list. You know,
you're missing, but it's missing something,
right?
Yeah, at first I thought this was a power rankings thing when that was going to.
Yeah, I thought so too.
What you said, Mike, that was going to do exactly what you just said, Mike, which is include some consequences or some rewards for being on the list of Jericho. Excuse me, on the list.
Yeah.
Jericho. Wow. You know, like so, Randy Orton, Ty Dillinger, since they made the top 10, they can be a competition for whatever title they want to go. Well, after Randy Orton clearly RKO'd out of nowhere several people that was involved in the U.S. Championship match, but they was like, well, since I did everything else in WWE, I might as well go ahead and get the U.S. Championship.
You know, to me, that was the only problem with the list is that Rusev wasn't on it. That was legitimately.
And Kevin Owens. And Rusev is legitimately and Kevin Owens over in every city.
Right.
I mean, so if I were to make any type of replacement, any type of change, I would put Kevin Owens on the list instead of Ty Dillinger. That's just me.
Exactly. Again, that's why. But if you look at where he's at number 10, that makes sense, right? Because the perfect 10. I don't like it. I don't think he should be there. But think. Let's think company. Let's think we're in the back. And they go, you know, some poop-putt, you know, jabroni says, hey, we need to give you a top 10 list. You know, give us number 10. Perfect 10 time. That's how we know them enough from watching the WWE Network, right? We know them enough from watching Ride Along that they think this way. Go back and listen to the interviews you see nowadays where like Bubba Ray and the old guys versus the new guys. It's been highly documented that these guys aren't what they used to be. Back in the day, in our day, growing up when I was watching wrestling with these guys on my wall, they would go to the hotel, they'd go get some drinks, get drunk, catch some camaraderie, and try to go get some tail. Now, the guys are in their room, they're playing Xbox, you know what I'm saying? They're making porns together. You know what I'm saying? they're not thinking of this kind of stuff. They're not, you know, they're just not thinking that way. So, I'm not going to listen because I don't like it.
Listen, about the list, I mean, there are some people on there that are, for example, I'll be honest with you.
I think everybody's on the list except for Ty Dillinger and maybe Becky Lynch.
Ty Dillinger, Becky Lynch.
That's the only two I would take off for me.
Yeah.
Who else was on it?
I put.
Do you have the full list there or no?
Yeah, I bring it back up. It's right here. We go 10. We got Ty Dillinger, Randy Orton, Becky Lynch, the Usos, the New Day, Bobby Roode, Naomi, Shinsuke Nakamura, Charlotte, and AJ Styles. So
I'm sorry, Naomi should have been number 4.
Well, if you're thinking she's the number 1 female contender as of right now for the title,
right behind Charlotte,
right behind Charlotte, I would put it there. But again, I would take off. Maybe I'm not putting the New Day over the Usos.
Hell no.
But in the eyes of the back room, they're probably more over to their peers because they do sell the merch. Everybody likes the New Day. No matter whether I like their crop top t-shirts or not, they're still over, right? So let's go ahead and move on. Let's give our weekend wrestling a grade. I'm going to give it what would be a C out of our 5 belt grades, right? So I would probably give it a 2.5. 2.5?
A 3.
A 3. Okay.
3. So 2.5 is C-.
Okay, I'm going to give it 3 Super Bowl champion 52 Eagles World Heavyweight title runs.
You mean
right?
you mean the WWE title?
Right? Yeah. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 because it didn't suck, but it wasn't great. Right? You know what? That's disrespectful to my title, so I'm gonna take that belt. No, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5. United States title runs, Lex Luger, NWA titles.
But Lex Luger.
No, I'm a fan of NWA. I didn't say WCW. NWA United States title runs, 3 out of 5. I liked the Lex back then. Okay, that's before the Lex train, all that crap came along. But yeah, I mean, because like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was nothing that stood out for me other than the Usos promo on SmackDown and what happened on Raw. I love the Alexa Bliss. I love the females. I thought the women dominated the whole entire week of wrestling. And I thought the news coming out for Ring of Honor that we don't talk about much, it's not me. So I guess that's my fault because I'm the leader of the program. You know what I mean? I don't watch them enough to talk about them enough to give them a good or bad review. But I do know, like, I'm a Cody Rhodes fan from day 2. And Cody versus Omega is huge. And, it's the end of the Bullet Club. Who was the real leader? We're going to find that out at WrestleMania weekend. They're already sold out.
Yeah.
They're already sold out. I can't watch them back if I wanted to.
They're in a 200-seater, man. I mean, come on.
No, they got a 9,000 seat.
Hey, watch your mouth.
No, they have
200-seater.
They have 9,000.
They're the back of a high school gym.
Watch your mouth. This ain't no big time wrestling or anything like that.
No, they're in a 9,000 seat stadium, guys. Sorry, get your facts straight. They sold out a 9,000 seat arena. This is the biggest pay-per-view for Ring of Honor in the history of the company.
So that means
Let's see how much tickets are going for.
The possibility of All In is not too far-fetched.
Well, we didn't think with the way the internet loves to hate the WWE. All In became a possibility once we brought it up on the show and got all the hate mail we got from Dave Meltzer and his little ass penis. Oh, so it doesn't matter. Okay, he knows he has a little. He knows he has a little.
Hey,
he knows that.
He's got 30 years in the game. So leave his micro penis alone.
I'm not gonna leave his. Well, I will leave his micro penis alone because no one else is touching it. So I'm not trying to touch it. But excuse me. So go ahead, give me a Belgrade hugger. I gave it 3 out of 5. Lex Luger NWA titles.
I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I don't know. I'll just go with Triple H Intercontinental title runs. They were all right. It was all right. Like you said, it was all right. And the first ever title reign, by the way, not the second when he beat the Rocket for the Intercontinental title.
Okay. Give me your Belgrade there, Micah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it also a 3. 3 out of 5. Chris Jericho WCW Cruiserweight titles. Like you said, it was good. Necessarily wasn't great. But however, I will have to ask you this, Mike.
Yeah.
And Vaughn's will give this background. I know. I had to ask you this, Mike. Who dropped a better pipe wrong? Jason Kelsey or the Usos?
I think Jason Kelsey did.
Jason Kelsey. Don't get me started. This is not a sports show. It's a wrestling show. Okay, but he has
that was a wrestling promo.
It was first of all, Tommy Dreamer said it was a horrible promo, but because he was a sports athlete, it was a good promo. And I want to say to myself, with all due respect towards Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence, you never once cut a good promo in your career. So
never.
Oh no, disrespect. Don't come beat me up and put me through a garbage can. I'm a fan of Tommy Dreamer, but he's not known for his promos. So, and again, I'm biased in this whole situation. So to me, Jason Kelsey's promo, we're Philly, we don't care. I mean, I'm sorry, I will play that forever. But go ahead and give me your belt grade there, Micah. You gave me George. You said 3 out of 5. So give me your belt grade there, Vaughn.
All right. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. 80 U.S. titles.
That is the consistency.
Yeah.
That is 3 out of 5. Not a bad show, but not a great show either. I keep muting you guys there because I'm getting a lot of back feedback noise from you there, Huggo. Like, I don't want to say you got a vibrator going on because I'm watching you, so I see your hands. So I don't know what that noise is in the background, but it definitely sounds like a vibrator.
No, it's the air conditioning because my new unit. It's like right next door. So my bad. So all your best.
I can't remember last time I had an air condition. Right? Does that mean I'm bougie? Because I've had central air for like the last 7 years.
It's okay. You're not bougie for not having air conditioning.
What's the air conditioning? That's not like a wall unit, like hanging out the window.
No. This is my central air, and it's inside and legit is inside my closet, and it goes out to to the outside.
Your central air is inside your closet.
Yeah, show it to us.
I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys in a minute.
It's trouble in the closet.
Flip the camera over.
But listen, really quick. Ring of Honor. When is it? On the 7th?
It's on the. Don't give me the lie. It's that weekend.
That's Saturday, right? It's that Saturday, right?
That's Saturday.
There are some tickets on StubHub though.
Yeah, well, let's get our Mania tickets down first before we talk about that. Real fast, for those, if you had an Xbox One right now for the next 3 hours, Injustice 2 would be $20. Let me tell you why I'm pissed, son. Because I paid $100 for this damn game to get the season pack, and now it's $20.
Man,
that's why I didn't buy GTA 5 when it first came out. I got my GTA 5 for $20, brand spanking new, $20.
Yeah, just wait.
New,
just wait.
All I do is wait, man. That's how they get y'all. If y'all stop paying for those games when they first come out, then they'll lower the price. But the market demands they'll buy as soon as they come out. That's how it goes.
You guys, really quick, you guys like old school games, right? Speaking of GTA, they had Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 3. They normally go for like $39.99 for all three on the PSN. I got it for $17.50 last week on digital download.
Smart.
Wow, smart.
$17.50. With all these remakes that they're doing, Mike, I would love to see a remake of all the GTAs. And you think you think that'd be good for a remake of WrestleMania 2000 or WCW vs. NWO No Mercy?
That would just
No Mercy.
That'd be too much like the right thing to do, and I'm not sure the world is ready for such a.
That would be too much right. WrestleMania 2000 remake.
It's the greatest wrestling game of all time.
Over No Mercy.
Hands down.
It was the same. It was the same game. It just had updated roster. That's all it was.
That's really for real. That's all it was.
And then No Mercy you could go backstage. And then No Mercy you could go backstage. Other than that, it was just all the same.
It was nowhere near all the same.
It really was.
No Mercy in WrestleMania it was.
No.
Same gameplay, same everything.
I'm talking about the gameplay and functionality, but of course the features and stuff were different depending on what game you had.
I didn't think it was all the same. But top rivalries, guys. Like we've done the Mount Rushmore, right? And we've done wrestlers. Everybody's done wrestlers. We've done tag teams. We have some other things coming up for you guys in the future. But right now, we're going to talk about the greatest rivalries of all time. Now, let me just get this out the way if I can. All right? Just going to throw it out there to get it out the way. I don't want us to say or to put what
Austin versus
or should we just automatically put
Bret and Shawn
WWE versus WCW?
We should, but it should be.
But that's not what I want to count. Right, that's not. I don't want to count.
You would do individual, right?
Yeah, right,
you do individual.
We got to do individual.
Right, I don't want to count. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. You're not letting me get it out. If I can get it out, it would be, if I can speak. All right. Not companies, right? Because that would be the obvious choice, right? That's what everybody would want to go with. So Mount Rushmore to me, again, and when we make these lists and you come up with these things, I'm talking about in-ring product. I'm talking about the storyline because, again, hashtag wrestling is storyline. Without storyline, there can be no rivalry. Now, excuse me, what may be my Mount Rushmore may not be Micah's Mount Rushmore, may not be your Mount Rushmore. Tune it in right now. Whatever it is, want to hear from you. Micah, not Micah, Vaughn, if he doesn't mind, when we get done or during the process of the show, make a poll. What you think's the greatest one of all time? But let's go one at a time instead of giving our four at one time, right? And then go through it that way till we get our all four from all four of us, right? And I started off. To me, one of the greatest rivalries of all time, and I'll be the one to be older here, right? To me, has to go with the Von Erichs versus the Fabulous Freebirds. We're talking about the best of world-class championship wrestling at its finest, right? All the way to NWA. The Von Erichs and the Freebirds tore up the South like nobody's business, right? From Texas all the way to Georgia. In every state in between Texas and Georgia, which how many states is that? I'm not a whatever that is. Vaughn, that's your job. You're supposed to be the smart one here. Because as a kid, right, we're thinking when you're younger, things didn't offend you. When I saw Michael P.S. Hayes come out and he had his face painted with the Confederate flag, I didn't think racist. I didn't know that was a racist thing back then. Wow, he's putting on for us. He put on for his city, as they say, right? That's what they say. You put on for my city. So the blood, the matches, the women, the arenas, the promos, what appeared to be real hatred, by far, my Mount Rushmore, one of them would have to considerably be, and not it's just I'm putting it there. I'm not going to just go all with the last 15 years. The Von Erichs versus the Freebirds, hands down, one of my Mount Rushmore of rivalries.
Wow!
I want to go one at a time. I got all mine ready already. I've been doing this all day. Want me to give you the other ones? Or you want to go one at a time?
You can give the other ones.
Okay, since you're the only one speaking, everybody else want to be mutes. Number 2. Get my notes, so don't make fun of me. I wrote it down. I'm telling you, I thought about this because it's so important to me, this conversation and this Mount Rushmore, because everybody does these things. Number 2, Bret and Shawn.
Yeah.
Bret and Shawn. Like, we know the real hatred between Bret the Hitman Hart and Shawn Michaels. We know it. Number 3, I would put Hogan versus Macho Man. The mega powers explode. It's when I won't say it was the first time I loved the heel, because my timeline might be off, but the Macho Man was the first heel I truly loved. Like, I was a big Nikita Koloff fan, but I think I was a Nikita Koloff fan once he turned face. So then when he went back heel, I just stayed a fan. You know what I mean? Of the Russian sickle. But I truly thought this is when I got off the Hulkamania bandwagon, because I had them. I had the blue waist to say your prayers. I had the vice grip hand thing. I had the jump rope. I had the thing on my wall that showed you how to do push-up stuff the proper way. I don't know what happened. I stopped following his regimen, but it was all his fault because he tried to steal Miss Elizabeth. I saw Saturday Night Main Event. I watched it. He was trying to knock her off. I believe that in my heart of hearts. Hulk Hogan tried to knock off Miss Elizabeth. And that ruined everything. So now, the last one on my list, and this is where I had a hard time, because I had a hard time going if I was going to go singles or back tag team, right? And I also got to think greatest of all time. So I just can't pick what was like my favorite, right? Because we're not saying what's your favorite rivalries. We're saying out of all the rivalries in the world, you can pick 4 of the greatest rivalries of all time. What do you put there? Right? So I went Von Erichs. I went Freebirds. Not my favorite. I remember watching it saying, yo, these 8 guys, 6 guys literally hate each other. I could have went Horseman versus Dusty, right?
Yeah.
I went Mega Powers for the mainstream. I'm going to go, again, maybe not my favorite, but biggest rivalry. I went Bret and Shawn for the mainstream. I think that was a bigger, heated, more rivalry than the 3 guys on my wall, because you see Stone Cold in the middle. You see Triple H and The Rock. That's what people love, Rock and Stone Cold. But I personally think Triple H versus Rock was a better rivalry, by far. But I'm going to go Ric Flair. And this is where I had a hard time. I had a hard time figuring out, was it going to be Ric Flair versus Steamboat? Was it going to be Ric Flair versus Dusty? And as much as I want to put Flair versus Dusty, as great as they were, I could not put it under Steamboat and Flair. See how I've tricked you there? Steamboat and Flair mirror tore down every city in hour-long wrestling matches, but Flair versus Dusty Rhodes, that's my Mount Rushmore. Flair Rhodes, Mega Powers Explode, Bret and Shawn, Von Erichs versus the Freebirds. That's my Mount Rushmore of rivalries. I don't think it gets any better than that. I'm gonna go with you next, Vaughn, since you're the one that's being more speaker. They sit back. Look at. I'm liking Micah's face. Because Micah's like, yo, Mike Knoxxx really thought about this one.
Oh man. Yeah, you really did think about it. Now, as far as
it is good. It is good.
And since you're not gonna tweet it out, Vaughn, am I responsible, Vaughn, for tweeting out my own stuff today? I'm not used to this.
I'll tweet it out. But
I'm not used to this. I'm gonna make you go last then so you can tweet. No, I'm just joking. You can go next. You can start tweeting.
All right. So as far as real quick, as far as the thing between Georgia and Texas, that's at least about 2 or 3 states between them.
That's all?
You gotta include Mississippi, Louisiana, and stuff like that. But as far as so I know, right? Yeah, it's a while. I know,
You're terrible at geography, Mike. You really are, man.
But as far as my rivalries, real quick, I would say Bret and Shawn. Because they're like pretty much doppelgangers. They're kind of like if you're talking about like, let's say video game language. If it's Street Fighter, they're Ken and Ryu. Bret's Ryu and Shawn is Ken. And so they're like this. They're the same but different. Tomato, tomato. So they're definitely in that type of sense. And of course, the personal rivalry that they had with one another that just amplified it even more. I say Austin and Rock. Just because there was a rivalry that helped to save the Monday Night Wars and for the impact that it had on the mainstream. As far as that, the 3 WrestleMania matches.
I had so many holes in that rivalry, and one which is what you just said right there. And I know you didn't cut me off, but it's a talk show. You had all the opportunity to cut me off, you didn't. That they didn't save the company. Stone Cold and McMahon saved the company. The Rock and Stone Cold just pushed it.
I'll go
Rock and Stone Cold pushed it.
I'll go before that. I will say Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon, all of them 3 saved the WWF.
I would have to say Austin. I would have more so Austin, just because of the way that the ratings went up after Austin 316, WrestleMania, all that stuff.
I think you could put anybody in that spot with Rock, though. That's right. With Austin, I mean.
Remember when the Montreal Screwjob happened, we all tuned in the next Monday night to see what the hell was going on.
I still thought it was a work until I saw the spit. That
Lukey right here, and then Bret going WCW.
Yeah, right. Did he run WCW? I would turn my bad. Go back to Michael's point. We're just ripping.
Go ahead. But as far as, like I said, with the rivalry, I would say Bret and Shawn, Austin and Rock. Then I would go with the Mega Powers.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you got 2 of mine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I go with that. And the 4th one.
Don't you dare say Edge and Matt Hardy.
Oh no, not even close. The 4th one, I think I have to go with Flair and Steamboat. And so because of the trilogy that they had and how they were opposites of each other. So like they just had such great chemistry with each other, and they, like I said, the classics that they had. I mean, yeah, you could say Flair and Dusty, but for me, it was more so Flair versus Steamboat. So
it was hard me picking that the way you put Bret and Shawn. And I always call them 1 and 1A. Like Shawn's my favorite wrestler, but by this much over Bret.
Yeah, but not by much.
It's because of what I like in wrestling, and that's the storyline stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I give that to Shawn. But in ring, I think Bret's better in ring than Shawn is. So for me, the rivalry, the reason why I pick Rhodes over Steamboat Better matches, I think, came from Steamboat and Flair, but the stories and the years of it, like you gotta go to the Son of a Plumber, and that whole thing with Dusty was bought out from Flair, right? Yeah. And Flair just put him down about what he's riding in, and he's the limousine. Some of the greatest rivalries you ever got from Ric Flair came during his battles with Dusty Rhodes. Talking about polar opposites. You got the Son of a Plumber and a guy riding a limousine coming out with 10 women wearing Gator shoes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I get you. I get you. But for me, and again, Dusty's literally one of my favorites of all time. There's Hulk Hogan fell off the list. So as a child he was there, but as an adult he's completely off of my personal Mount Rushmore. Other than what I he did for the company, right? He disqualified himself. But Dusty will never. Dusty's immortalized in my opinion. Let's go to Micah with this one. Micah, and first give me your Mount Rushmore before we go ahead, because it's my Mount Rushmore is dope right now. I'm sorry, and I like you got two of mine.
It's okay.
You got two of mine. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. No, I'm saying it's okay that what you're talking about, like getting to me.
I'm liking Vaughn's background better than both of y'all's.
Exactly. Vaughn's got a great background.
I'm ready to see some of the other pictures he got back. I saw some comic books on the wall and everything. Vaughn be going places, y'all. I'll be mad. I'll be watching Vaughn's drawings like this. I know you're going to Awesome Con.
He's definitely going to Awesome Con.
I'm definitely going to that.
And make sure ask a New Day about those. Ask a New Day about those pancakes. Just figure out and make sure you get Kofi. Make sure you get Austin Creed on Up Down Down. Make sure you get them on Up Down Down.
Real quick. Just to bring this up, I was listening to, because I thought about this for us. As a matter of fact, Micah, I think you brought it up a while ago, and we just never did it. But Jericho had a podcast where a guy came on about Marvel versus DC. I don't know if you got.
I heard that. I heard that. Yeah, and I heard that one this week.
I heard that today, and I'm not. I need someone to be non-Marvel biased for me to get. I want some honest. I've yet to hear anybody talk Marvel DC. Like we talk WCW versus WWE. I think I can be biased because I was a huge NWA fan, although my favorite guys' stories were in WWE. But realism, but they had Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff and Magnum TA and Tully versus I think some of the better I think it'd be I think I could go right down the middle and say what I thought. I don't think people give me an honest assessment of Marvel versus DC. The one thing he did say is that as long as you have Batman and Superman, DC's not going nowhere. They can't get it right. I think they've got it right. People say that. People say that. Him and Jericho ripped Cameron Carvell and says that Christopher Reeves is still their favorite Superman. I love Christopher Reeves. I love Christopher Reeves.
Christopher Reeves is the best Clark Kent.
But the best Superman and Clark Kent, hands down, goes to Tom Welling.
Tom Welling.
Smallville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, no, he did good. But that was more the teenage Clark Kent.
But he became Superman. It was 10 seasons. He became a grown man in season 6.
Yeah. So it was. Tom Welling did a good job. Christopher Reeves gave me the best Clark Kent though.
Yeah, I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Christopher Reeves. Sorry,
Christopher Reeves Clark Kent was the best Clark Kent.
It was the best, but his Superman was so weak then. You know what I mean?
It was.
If I put that on for my kids right now, any of the old stuff, my kids wouldn't watch that.
Exactly.
That Superman doesn't age as well as the other ones.
But Superman Returns won't age well with anything.
No, Superman. I still love that part though when a bullet hit him in the eye. I'm sorry.
Man. That was kind of funny.
I love that part, yo.
Right. That was pretty good.
He just smiles. I didn't like Brandon Roth because, moving on real fast, as a fan of One Life to Live, I never get telling my wife. I said, how's he going to play Superman? He was just a rapist. He was a rapist on One Life to Live. He raped Jessica Buchanan. That he got the role to play Superman. And I said, what? He's okay. What's his role on Legends of Tomorrow? The Atom? Let him play the Atom.
Yeah,
Don't ever play Superman when he's a rapist. And if you go to the movie, he was a perv in the movie. Remember when Lois Lane was going up the elevator? He was X-ray visiting her clothes. He was a perv.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Give me a Mount Rushmore, Micah, of rivalries.
Me, you, and Vaughn are on the same page when it comes to Bret and HBK. And what was the other one? What was the other one y'all just said?
Mega Powers.
And the Mega Powers. Because of just what they meant, because of what they meant overall to the company at that time. For me, I would have to put Austin and McMahon up there based on what you were talking about earlier.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good one.
He was talking about Austin Rock, but all the things that happened to him and The Rock came off the Austin McMahon.
Absolutely.
Even if they were, no matter what, it was renditions. It was a corporation, the corporate ministry, whatever, what have you. It was different renditions of the same rivalry. And the guy who represented your boss, and you want to be able to punch him in the face, and your boss just lets you do it. And he just tries to find ways to do everything in power to make your life live in hell except for firing you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The bedpan.
A lot of us.
That's all I remember seeing is the bedpan. Like watching and Vaughn Hill had an opportunity to meet my kids, but Micah and Hugo, they actually had to hang out with my kids. Y'all know Christian. Christian loves that part. like he loves that part.
I'm sure Christian was weak, man. I will tell you, for me, liking with Austin v. McMahon, I know for this may not be on y'all's, but for me, I think this particular rivalry paved the way for Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, and all these guys who are not necessarily larger than life looking guys to be champion. And I think that's the CM Punk Authority rivalry. The whole CM Punk thing, being against the Authority, that whole thing, I think was the how can you say, the ushering in. Okay, we can have champions in the WWE that don't look like a Hulk Hogan, don't look like John Cena. They don't have the Roman Reigns look, but they can still be respectable and viable champions, especially if they know how to talk, they know how to work, and they do all the things that good wrestlers do anyway.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get behind them because we didn't know how to market them. Well, you know how to market a guy. Let him do it himself. Trust your guys to do everything. I think we wouldn't even have the New Day without a guy like CM Punk. Honestly,
I guess
guys who can do their own thing
is that I thought Daniel Bryan and the Authority was much bigger than CM Punk and the Authority.
Yeah.
I'm saying that CM Punk started it.
No, but see, I think it's not. Sometimes not about what starts it or what finishes it. It's about what was bigger.
You're talking about the quality.
Daniel Bryan was bigger.
And Bryan was bigger. Occupy Raw?
Yeah.
Occupy Raw was big. That was huge.
That to me, going down in history is one of the biggest things next to the beer truck. When you think of big Monday Night Raw moments.
Beer truck, milk truck, pipe bomb.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to take that from there. I just think when you came out home run, you only hit a single, in my opinion, with the last one. That's just me.
I would say CM Punk versus John Cena.
That's where I thought he was going.
That was kind of involved in all that, though. That was kind of involved in all part of that. John Cena, kind of like how Rock and Austin was all part of how he was interacting with Vince McMahon. Well, CM Punk's interaction with the Authority figures, no matter who the Authority figures were, was John Cena was part of that. Because remember, he said that John Cena was part of that machine. John Cena is that guy. Remember, he took the title. Walked out.
Yeah.
He won in a way that we didn't think that he was going to win. Like, I honestly did not think that Vince McMahon was going to let him win.
Right.
They swerved all of us very well with that. So here he is doing his thing, walking around the WWE Championship, and and his words came true. As soon as we had a guy that we liked in Rey Mysterio who could have been champion, who got the champion, who could have been the champion, who's the first guy they sent out of him?
John Cena.
And so now it's like, oh gosh, they said John Cena for Rey Mysterio. We just got a champion that we like. Here comes this jamoke coming up in here, or as one dude likes to say, F-boy Buckethead.
You know what? That's hilarious. That's. I'm not gonna. I don't know where my disconnect from other wrestling fans came from.
Yes,
but there's no way. I like wrestling. Again, wrestling storyline to me. So I'm taking nothing from Rey Mysterio. I don't want nobody to think that I'm not a Rey Mysterio fan. Rey Mysterio, I get not being a CM Punk or a Jericho, but to me, Rey Mysterio being champion is like saying I can have Dean Malenko as a champion. It wasn't believable to me. It just wasn't
really wasn't.
Rey Mysterio was more believable than Dean Malenko,
because he can beat anybody. That's what makes Rey Mysterio great. He beat the Big Show.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio actually pulled it out.
That title and hold on to it for an experience period. Nah, he did right by it. So to me, John Cena going against him was great. I remember heard today, just to go back, they were saying Omega versus Cody will be the biggest match in Cody's career. No, it's not. The biggest match in Cody's career was the U.S. title versus Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam when you had the Joker versus the Red Skull. When they dressed it up, Captain America versus the Red Skull. When they went the comic book gimmick route. So all this whole love for New Japan, all this newfound love for Cody Rhodes and stuff needs to stop. Cody been on top.
He's been good. Right. He's been good for a long time.
He's been good for a long time.
Yeah. But go ahead. Go ahead, because I'm gonna break that down. When we get done, we're gonna have to narrow it down to we've always done that, right? And made who we are, Soul and Sports, Perfect Plex Talk Radio's Mount Rushmore. And so we got to figure it out. So we got two of them, I think, are cemented, which will be Bret and Shawn and the Mega Powers. Although I think with what you said, Micah, and Austin and McMahon, I think for me, that might actually push out.
That would actually be on there.
I think that actually pushes out Shawn and Bret because I think.
No.
Hold on, hear me out. You're not old enough to remember this, but the heat that came between the Von Erichs and the Freebirds is legendary. It's just stuff that you're going to be telling your kids. I'll be telling my kids down the line. When you go to the WWE Network, they put 35 new videos, right, of Coliseum home videos, right? Go watch some of the stuff. Go back to watch WCCW. Go watch that stuff with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds. You've never seen nothing like it. Before there was an ECW, before there was those guys beat the living shit out of each other.
Yeah.
For over 3 years. So I know, and again, I'm not trying to go with my favorite here because I'm not a fan of Von Erichs or the Freebirds, to be honest. I'm a British Bulldogs Heart Foundation, kind of guy. You know what I mean? I'm a Steiner Brothers, versus whoever in WCW kind of guy. The Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express kind of guy. If I want to put, best tag teams, I'm talking about something I looked at that was heated and was angry. Here goes John, and he's worked 12 hours. We worked 12 hours. Here you go. Give me your Mount Rushmore. You're on camera, suck it out on radio just by yourself no more. You're on both of them. Know how to look good for the camera. Go ahead.
All right. So obviously we said, and this is my question to y'all, right? We said we're not going to put WCW versus the WWE, right? We're not going to do that. No. But can we put the man that ran WCW and the man that ran the WWE in both Eric Bischoff versus Vince McMahon? Although they never crossed paths, right, physically, until Eric Bischoff went to the WWE. And again, this is an honorable moment, just a food for thought for you guys.
I'm gonna tell you why I wouldn't put it as an honorable mention. And Mike, I'm on mute. It was just
hold on, really quick, Mike. Let me just finish.
Let me doing something to your camera. That's
really
all.
Quick, Mike.
Go ahead.
Let me just say something. My question is this. Okay, obviously, what Eric Bischoff did, right, to attack and belittle Vince McMahon and literally brought him to his knees.
Not really.
He did.
Not really.
No, he didn't.
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because from Eric Bischoff's own mouth, on something to wrestle with Tom Pritchard.
Yeah.
It would have been dope if McMahon would have responded, and McMahon never responded. So if McMahon would have gave any, and I'm listening to the stories. These stories are so great, and Eric Bischoff's being told about Hogan. And by God,
by the way, don't do it. I love that podcast.
You don't want McMahon to respond to you because he could. Remember that he challenged him. He said McMahon will kick your ass. And he said, "Oh, he said to himself,
I saw that."
But McMahon,
I get my ass whooped. But it'd be great ratings if he came out. I didn't care because people don't realize Eric Bischoff's a real badass. He's a real karate. He's a real black belt.
He's a black belt. Yeah.
So, but no, I can't. I think put that up there.
So I just wanted to put that out there because I thought Bischoff versus McMahon, man to man, it would have been great, right? I mean, I guess
we're talking about fantasy booking on that one though. We're talking about actual rivalries.
All right, so rivalries, Bret and Shawn, Mega Powers. I agree with you guys. I think that's a unanimous decision that we all could put on our Mount Rushmores. I'm gonna go a little bit out of the limb here, Mike.
I thought I did that.
Y'all are gonna laugh at me, but I'm gonna go to ECW.
Oh, I will not laugh. I will not laugh at you because I have a feeling I know what you're gonna.
Taz versus Sabu.
Sabu. I knew it. I was going to say that
because both men.
For me, I personally like. I personally liked Sabu and Rob Van Dam better, but that's just me.
Well, remember, Taz and Sabu legit had.
They did.
Remember, Sabu. I think he took a contract in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Heyman fired him and then welcomed him back in open arms. And Taz legit wanted to. Well, you know what I mean. He wanted to kill Sabu. Wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman for bringing back Sabu. I think the intensity. They had great matches with one another. They legit looked like they were kicking each other's asses. I thought it was a fantastic feud, and that to me, because I'm such an ECW buff, I'm gonna put Taz and Sabu in my realm, in my own Mount Rushmore of rivalries.
See, we gotta have our own Mount Rushmores now. Because
then after that,
I don't want to take away from that from you because that's a good one.
Yeah, and then after that, honestly, where Michael was going with CM Punk and you know, I understand what he's saying. I honestly have to put CM Punk versus John Cena. I thought it was a fantastic feud. It legit lasted.
We're talking all time here. Now, I guess I'm the only old head here. We're talking all time. I mean, all time. I'm gonna put John Cena with Randy Orton. I'm gonna put John. I'm putting everybody before I put CM Punk.
It's Edge before.
John Cena and Edge before I put John Cena and CM Punk.
It's just that CM Punk, whether we like it or not, he did cement something special into the WWE in 2011, 2012.
Right. That's the reason put him on the top of a rivalry list.
That's the reason why it earned him 434 days as WWE champion. Something that we haven't seen in God knows how long.
Okay, I get that.
You know what I mean?
And
CM Punk.
And
I like Von Middle here.
And I mean, do we get him? Thank you. I mean, do we give him a special award or something? Like,
here it is.
Let's give him a
Dumbledore. Give him a Dumbledore. Give him a Dumbledore.
Full first round of MMA this time. Let the guy let him last a full round this time.
I mean, do we give him one of those
by the way,
certifificates?
By the way, he is fighting. He is fighting, by the way, again, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's going to be.
He is fighting. He's fighting in Chicago. He's fighting. Apparently, his next fight, I think it's a UFC.
Trash.
I don't know, UFC 232 or something like that.
I respect what you're doing, CM Punk, but you won't lose again, bro.
Trash.
But I have to go with that, man. I honestly, I have to put that out there because it had wrestling. It had.
Are you putting this on your list? Not as an honorable mention. As your list? Because I might have to pull your wrestling card if you put this on a list of greatest rivalries. We're talking about rivalries of all
rivalries.
Time. I mean, you could put Owen and Bret. You could put Owen and Bret also. You know, they were wrestlers.
Not with Bret and Shawn.
No, I never said Bret. I never would put.
No, I'm not. Right now, you're throwing rivalries out there. We can all. I want to hear the all time. Bret and Owen was great. All time, maybe in my top 15.
Let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, obviously we all want to be different too, right? So
no, I was just being honest. And I have a softball pick two of my four, and Micah knocked one of them out by saying Austin and McMahon. So I have to legitimately give one away because I think that deserves to be there. I'm just trying. What I tried to do on my list was go mainstream, old school, tag team. I tried to hit all genres of it. Although I couldn't find one for women, right? So minus women, I tried to go all access.
Charlotte versus Sasha is women.
Trish versus Lita.
But
it would have been Trish versus Lita.
Yeah, but then that would be me being a Hugo and reaching because they're women to put them on the list, not because they deserve to be there.
Reaching.
Hey, cuffing season. But
I'll go Austin Rock.
And so this is where I want to say, let's do this together, guys. Let's be one big happy group. And I cannot agree with y'all.
We already have two.
But that's all we have in common is those two. I cannot take if I move Dusty and Flair, I can't move them for the Freebirds versus Devon Eriks. I can't move Devon Eriks and the Freebirds for Dusty and Flair. You know, I just have a hard time there. I think the mega powers deserve to be there. And maybe that's for me, but I also think it took the company somewhere different right after the Hogan Andre thing, right? There was the next big guys in the company. And I think that ride was a little bit more even bigger than Hogan and Warrior. You know what I mean? That was like a very short, long lived. Like that mega powers explode was huge
because they were called the Mega Powers. They were called the Mega Powers for a reason.
Right.
Then you have the two top baby faces in the company. No one ever expected these two guys to join forces because they were so strong-willed personalities on their own. And now you take that, and now you take them and put them together. And like, nothing's going to combust. Nothing's going to combust. But old Terry Boella, you know how he is behind the scenes. When he starts becoming Terry, you know, when he drops the Hulk part and becomes Terry, I think when he starts going in.
I think everybody becomes tries to have their own shovel. I've always thought, of course, like,
he's top 3 go to shovel all the time,
right? So but we're talking Mount Rushmore here, man, and as wrestling fans, like, just hear me out. As wrestling fans, are we not giving any credit towards the golden era of professional wrestling?
Well, I mean, I guess in my case, the reason why the CM Punk one was more important for me was because that's the era that I really, really grew up in. So I grew up in that. From
that was 7 years ago.
Right. But I'm just saying.
Right.
Let me explain my thought process. These are the era. I'm giving you stuff from the eras in which I grew up.
You could have said Taker versus Kane.
No,
exactly.
But Taker versus Kane wasn't that great rivalry.
That's a much bigger rivalry than CM Punk versus CM Punk versus John Cena.
John Cena.
And I'm a Cena fan.
I'm old enough to look back and see and understand the Mega Powers, and I'm old enough to look back and see Bret and HBK. I am not old enough to look back and see Von Erichs and the Freebirds.
Okay.
So
or Dusty and Flair.
That's what I mean.
Or Dusty and Flair.
So I'm not old enough for that. And look, if I say anything, I would have said Sting versus the entire NWO.
Or Sting versus Ric Flair.
Yeah, Sting versus Ric Flair. Definitely Sting versus Ric Flair.
How can you remember Sting versus Ric Flair, but not go back 3 years before that and remember Sting versus Dusty?
Because I don't remember Sting versus Dusty.
You don't remember Sting versus Ric Flair either.
And Sting versus Ric Flair all the way to 2001, Mike. Until the end of WCW.
I remember more so Sting versus Vader.
Sting versus Vader was a bigger rivalry to me than Sting versus Flair.
You're crazy.
That had the whole
Sting versus Vader was big.
It was.
Sting versus Vader
was
big.
It was huge.
It was crazy.
Vader broke Sting's ribs.
Right. You're forgetting, and I know I'm showing my age, but I'm trying to educate you guys that this is the show for the intelligent wrestling fans. You're missing history when you're not going Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express. You're not going the Legion of Doom versus the Midnight Express, the scaffold match, for heaven's sakes. You're being remiss when you don't go what's my man, Ravishing Rick Rude versus the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, versus Ultimate Warrior, or Jake the Snake versus Ravishing Rick Rude.
Jake Snake has
when you're not going, like you just said, Edge and Cena. To me,
that's better. That's better.
Much
better than Cena versus Punk.
Oh yeah.
You got to go.
I mean, they had rated R. They had a rated
Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Sorry.
Nah.
No, I won't say Shawn. I'm not going to say Shawn. Shawn Michaels and Triple H rivalry was so thick and so big, it went on for 2.5 years. I will never forget, at the time, my wife and I gave up our apartment to go move in with my friend, and we're watching it. You know how it is. You're all wrestling fans. You always have those group of friends that come to you for everything, right? That's like, you know all the answers. And I remember saying, he is not going to wrestle past this match. This will be the last match Shawn Michaels ever wrestles. The boy stayed around for like 8 more years after that.
Exactly.
Match. And that match at SummerSlam went all the way, another SummerSlam, into the Royal Rumble that took place in Philadelphia, where Goldberg, going into WrestleMania 20, the one where Goldberg and Brock, where that match got ended in a no contest. It was my first ever pay-per-view. The ring was so bloody from these guys. Like, it was just disgusting. I'd have hated to go in the ring to do the Royal Rumble, which, by the way, Chris Benoit won that Royal Rumble. After that match. I'm not the WWE. Chris Benoit, someone who I don't think murdered his family. I think he was set up by all the stories I hear from Chavo Guerrero and other people. I think he was really, truly set up. That's just me. Call me a fool. Call me naive. Call me.
So much hate on Twitter now.
I don't care. Ball's not tweeting.
Mike, so Mike, you got the document?
I won't tweet that. Mike? Don't worry about it. I won't.
You tweet that. You channeling your inner Alex Jones, Mike?
No, I'm just saying. But like, we're talking about greatest rivalries, fellas. I just, for the life of me, don't see how. And the Mount Rushmore, some of the ones you guys said go there. That's all. Like, if you want to knock mine off, that's fine. That's fine as well.
and any authority.
So we're in agreement for 3. We need to agree on the 4th. Do I have to pull right here? I'm making you pull one from the 8.
So hold on. So we got Vince. Vince Austin.
We got Vince Austin. Bret HBK.
Yep.
And Mega Powers.
And the Mega Powers.
Dusty and Flair.
No, man.
So you say Steamboat and Flair?
Yeah, man.
I said Steamboat and Flair.
Did you say Steamboat and Flair, Mike?
He said Steamboat and Flair. To me, I said Flair and Dusty because the storyline leading up to it was much better.
Oh, okay. Because you said Steamboat and Flair because they were tearing down our matches and things like that.
We're talking about him putting his arm in the door and breaking it. We spoke with Tully Blanchard on this program several times, friend of the program, who said, I hated them guys for that moment. I thought they broke Dusty Rhodes' arm. We're talking about I'm just sorry. There's no way I can
Cowboy
put
Bob Orton.
Some of the ones you put on that list over any of those 2. I just cannot. I just cannot see how that go there.
So when you're looking for,
so here we go. This is what we're gonna do for the benefit of those with time given on our hands right now. Vaughn, put our 3 and we're gonna put our 3. Say we're coming to the end of our Mount Rushmore.
Right.
So we have 3 of our 4 to go on the Mount Rushmore for rivalries. We have the Mega Powers explode. We have Austin and McMahon. We have Bret and Shawn. Let the things go on the last one. Do we go Dusty and Flair? Do we go Flair and Steamboat? Do we go Cena
CM Punk
and John Cena?
Oh God!
Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe.
Or do we go? Do we go? Hugo's ECW Sabu versus Taz. That's you only put 4 on there, and we all have one that's off the list, right? So I will bump off the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. Yeah, you young bastards.
Oh man.
Okay. If your parents would have had sex earlier, y'all would have saw this.
Old, dude. By the way, I never said CM Punk and John Cena. I said CM Punk in the Authority.
That's even worse. Make sure you put the people's names. Worse. Make sure you put the people's name next. So they come
that guy said it.
Can you remember that? Can you remember all that, Vaughn?
Yeah, I got it. So
all right.
So last one.
I thought we said them already.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put that up.
My Flair and Dusty, Flair and Steamboat, Sabu and Taz, or CM Punk versus the Authority.
Hey, that's where the John Cena stuff came from.
This John Cena stuff came way before that, bro.
It was before the Authority. That was before the Authority even.
Just so you know, John Cena's Shank Sucks started in Newark, Delaware at Buffalo Wild Wings, and we took it to Philadelphia, where it was the first place you heard John Cena sucks, and the world stole it from Philadelphia because we are the Super Bowl champion, bitches. Last subject for the night. We're going to get out of here, y'all. All right, last subject for the night. We got rumors are saying now that with the impending XFL in 2020, that now that Vince McMahon is stepping away from day-to-day opportunities and gave 205 Live exclusively to Triple H. Rumors also now are rampant that he is also giving over full control of the roster to Triple H. Will this be good or bad for the company? And I say this because for everything you don't like about Vince McMahon, you actually do like about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is singly responsible for Braun Strowman.
Yes,
he is.
And he is the hottest thing going right now, right? When is the last time you saw something that Vince McMahon put his all into? Braun Strowman, John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista. When Vince McMahon wants to push somebody over, they go over. Yes, with that being said, I've been on board saying for a while, and the bandwagon caught on about 2 years ago. Hugo been here from day one, but I've been saying, all y'all thought I was crazy. Talking about, that's what he says, I'm on Triple H mark, and I'm up Triple H's ass like an enema, public enema, whatever the enema that is. Triple H in control of the company. Micah, is that good or bad for the company?
Well, I think it's good for the company because if you're thinking about it from a hardcore wrestling fan perspective, a lot of people like to feed don't understand that Triple H is one of those guys that he wants to kind of separate himself from what Vince McMahon has done. That's why you see him pick some of the guys that and put some of the guys that he did on NXT and do the structure and the booking and the way he characterized people on NXT the way he's been doing. So a lot of people credit the way NXT, even though it's all WWE, like you say, right? It's all WWE, like you said. But the way NXT is done and the way NXT is booked like a wrestling show. It's not booked to just entertain you with filler in between the wrestling. They try to use the wrestling to entertain you. So they try to make it more like an athletic competition. Yeah. Triple H, as he continues to take more and more things over, I noticed that a lot of things are changing over where it's becoming a little bit more like an athletic competition. So all he's just trying to do is just trying to appease the base of fans that spend more money than anybody else, that has a network, things like that. He's trying to appease them while still kind of give and still do the things that, you know, a Vince McMahon would do as far as entertainment purposes is concerned. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive thing because Triple H is driven just like Vince. Triple H is driven by ego. He wants to make sure that he's more loved than Vince McMahon in this regime change. So he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that, you know, that he's more loved. So he may push, you know, you may see Rusev in championship reign actually for a change. You may see John Cena lose every match from now until about 2. You may see. I mean, you ain't gonna see John Cena lose every match. We already know that. But I'm just saying, you know, we're gonna see guys that we didn't think should be over, that we didn't think was gonna be over because of who was in charge. Probably gonna get over. There's gonna be a lot of things, a lot of changes that's gonna happen with your guy in charge. And I think most of it is because his ego is gonna say, I don't want people to think like I'm Vince McMahon or I think like Vince McMahon. So he will be done. He will be done with some things though. We've seen some of the stuff in NXT. We see some interesting things. I don't think that was necessarily his fault as much as the people not really buying in and developing the characters that he kind of gave them to buy into. But, yeah. Oh, and there's another thing that Triple H is going to be good at, too. Triple H, I think, is very, very good at poaching talent. I think he's very, very good at intermingling the WWE with other promotions. Granted, the whole Jericho Omega thing, I think that was because of Jericho's relationship with Vince. I think Jericho had that okay with Vince to do it. However, I literally think, I honestly and really wholeheartedly believe that Triple H would be the kind of guy that would say, okay, you pay us such and such a money, then we'll allow you to defend your RH World Heavyweight Championship on our show. And then we'll give you a bigger platform, a bigger stage to show off your thing. Because, see, as the WWE grows and they grow with the WWE, then they can just take the talent. Because the talent sees the bigger stage, the talent sees the grander stage. So yeah, be on your RE's contract, no problem. Now come over here and be on our show. And I think, and I see Triple H as a guy who will cross promote. That's the difference between him and Vince McMahon. I think Triple H will literally cross promote with other companies. Granted, they'll book it in ways where WWE comes out on top a little bit more often. But I think that Triple H, because of his ego, will actually cross promote. That's the one thing I see that would be different between him and Vince McMahon.
I don't think he would have the ability to do that part necessarily. But what I'm liking about Triple H taking over is when we look at WrestleMania as it is right now.
Yeah.
We're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting the hardcore wrestling fans, or like, you know, the guys that want their wrestling with Nakamura and AJ. And then on the other hand, you're going to get what WWE mainstream kind of booking will be with the Brock Lesnar versus the Roman Reigns. So I think all fans can be happy this WrestleMania. You know what I mean? You might get everything you're not going to get everything you want, but I think you will enjoy everything that you're going to get.
Yeah,
I think Triple H gives us the best opportunity to do that. Real fast, Michael. Vaughn, your take, and then you, Hugo, we can get up out of here.
All right, my take on the Triple H and Vince thing. I think Triple H is doing everything he can to bring the best of both worlds. You know, because of the fact that, you know, because of the fact that he has that mind for the business. You know, because he's been one of the boys himself. So he's able to see things. It's like somebody who's a former player who could see things that a coach can't see or a general manager can't see because they've been in that field. So because Triple H, you know, has been in the locker room. He knows what it takes when it comes to providing that more quality in-ring type of style, in-ring type of performance. So in that aspect, you know, like especially with Nakamura, Nakamura versus AJ, I believe, with all due respect, I think that's going to overshadow even Cody versus Omega. If anything, I take Jericho versus Omega over Cody versus Omega. You know, but yeah, that's just me. But as far as that, you know, like I said, you know, Triple H, I think he's in the best position possible to succeed. You know, so he has the vision when it comes to being, you know, to be, you know, as far as a veteran in the ring, but also when it comes to the vision, the direction, the mentorship that he's gotten from Vince. So with that, when you combine both of those, you know, I think that things will be, you know, be in a great position. So,
Hugo, your take?
Yeah, I definitely do believe that Triple H and you know, taking over the company is good because it's something with pressure. I think he's done so well with the NXT brand, and now if he takes over the roster in the WWE and try to take the day-to-day operations, and so Vince McMahon can solely, you know, concentrate. I'm sure that Vince will still have some sort of control over it, but at the end of the day, having Triple H being in control, being the one that makes the final decisions, I think it's great. You need something new, and Triple H has been proven to be behind the scenes, someone that is fair, someone that is just, and someone that will definitely look out for the business because he truly loves the business. And you, as much as you might hate Triple H, the man is a creative genius.
Well,
so I'm cool with that. Huh?
I was like, anybody can hate Triple H. That's just me. But
you're a Triple H mark.
Whatever. Well, Friday, Black Panther. Tomorrow, Soul and Sports on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and Fox Sports Radio 1340 AM. This has been a new rendition of Talk Perfect Plex. We try to do something different. We're going to look at the numbers once I put it up and see how it rolls on YouTube, and then upload the show as well on Blog Talk Radio. If I like it, we'll come back with it. If I don't, well, this might be the last time you see our beautiful faces. But it's been cool. It's been real. Listen, do not wake up tomorrow morning and say to yourself, I love me some me and don't love God. Listen, people, at the end of the day, it's wrestling. It's here to be entertaining. If you do not like what they've been doing, then this not the product for you anymore. If there's another product out there that's for you, then please bring it onto the program. Talk about it. I'd love to hear from you. Give me another reason to watch something different. To me right now, the end all to be all is to WWE. It's WrestleMania season. I'm not going to let you take that away from me. So with that being said, we'll see you tomorrow, guys, on Soul and Sports.